Hi everyone, welcome back to Rosemaling with Art of Lise. I'm Lisa. If you're new here, this is normally a channel where I spend time demonstrating the art form of rosemaling, but I'm taking a moment today to show some of the books that I have in my studio. I've had a few people ask me about that and ask about recommendations for books to kind of help you start along the way. As I went through my collection and cleaned my studio, this is my studio behind me, I realized, one, I have a lot of older books starting back in the 70s through the 80s through the 90s, and there's some newer ones, but not a lot, so I'll give a couple of names of recommendations of books to kind of look for, and I'll kind of give you a look-see of what I do have in here. Alright, so let me turn my camera down. First of all, this is one section of books going this way, and then we go down this way, and there's a whole other section going that way. Okay, so, alright, let's see if I can get this situated. This is about the fifth or sixth time I've tried to do this today, and yeah, I've just been having issues. It's just one of those days. It's Sunday. Well, what can I do? Alright, so first of all, if you're looking for books out there, there are one person in particular, two people in particular, Nils Elengard and Sigmund Orseth, who were the go-to names in 20th century rosemaling. Nils Elengard was actually not only a fantastic rosemaler, is a fantastic rosemaler, actually spent his life researching rosemaling, and I've been very fortunate to have a few of his books. So, Norwegian Rose Painting by Nils Elensgaard. This is in Norwegian, and this one's in English, but you can get it in Norwegian. I do have that one too. I have a lot of repeated books also. I've been really fortunate over the years to not only buy books myself, but have been given books as gifts. Books have just come my way. I've been really, really lucky. So I have a very extensive library. So he has some great books out there. This one is fantastic. A lot of these, I'm afraid, are out of print, so you're going to have to find them online. Norwegian Rose Painting in America. Just great, great research to go through. Okay, this is another one. This is a newer one, but even that's, let's see, what year was this? Rosemaling in Numedal, 2002. All right, so we're under 20 years with this. Great books. And then I was super fortunate 2 years ago to get this book. This is out of print. This is Rosemaling in Hallingdal. It wasn't cheap. And this book was done in the late 70s and is just fantastic. And my parents actually gave this to me as a gift for a big birthday. Okay, so that's one person, Nils Elensgaard. I'll make sure and put right names down in the notes afterwards, or down at the bottom. You know what I'm talking about. All right, another fantastic artist who unfortunately passed away in 2014, Sigmund Orseth. He had cancer. He was a wonderful artist, a wonderful man, did all sorts of art, both rosemaling and fine art, and just fantastic. So this is a fantastic book. Norwegian Rosemaling, Decorative Painting on Wood by Margaret Miller and Sigmund Orseth. If you can find these books out here, this is a great starter, a great introduction to rosemaling. A lot of it is in black and white, but it does present so much wonderful information. And there is actually Nils Elensgaard designs in this one as well. Just a fantastic, fantastic, fantastic book. He had a few other ones with Diane Edwards, who I'll mention also, who's wonderful, and she has a wealth of books out there. So Sigmund Orseth and Diane Edwards, his Rosemaling design. If you like telemark rosemaling, this is a great book to reference. Just a wonderful book to reference. Okay, and then he has another one, Painted Rooms, that he did with his son. And this shows his I mean, his work in all different rooms in Norway, here in the States, just fantastic. All right, Sigmund Orset. Now, somebody from today, I'll go back a little more with the books. Lois Miller, and when you see her name, it looks like Mueller, but it's pronounced Miller. It has a lot of books out there, and she actually, I have my notes somewhere, and I probably lost them. Okay, I'm back. Lois actually works with Hofcraft, the Painter's Choice. So you can go on Hofcraft on their website and find her telemark or her Rosemaling books, and she has quite a few of them. They are fantastic. Wonderful lady, absolutely fantastic lady to work with. There is one particular called Rosemaling for Anyone, which actually has worksheets on there that you can use. So that's a great one. Lois Miller. Diane Edwards, I mentioned before, is a great one where she has wonderful books out there. And she actually has probably the newest books to come out. And they're based on a wonderful Rosemaler who passed away just a few years ago, Marlis Hammer. Her designs were absolutely fantastic, a Vesterheim gold medalist. I think Diane did a great job with this book because Marlis's Rosemaling really was beautiful, and she worked in both oils and moved on to acrylics just like I did. I actually love this reference of color supplies, brushes, colors, introduction to colors, brushes, supplies, just wonderful. Gives a nice history of Rosemaling, gives a detailed information about mixing the paints, what she would suggest, and then just wonderful color photos in here. And I'll try to put a link for Diane's site for this. This is just a beautiful, beautiful book. Really beautiful, and I was very excited to get these last summer. So these are really brand new. She also did a coloring book for Marlis's work, which is actually her line drawings. So if you're looking for designs to transfer onto pieces, this is a great one. This is a great reference book. They're really great in tandem. So this is definitely, I recommend Marlis's or Diane's new books with Marlis. Diane has a lot of books out there, both in the Rosemaling and the Swedish painting. Very informative. She is a real historian in this. Great reference to work through. All right, so also currently there's a group called Rosemaling Coast to Coast. We're a nationwide Rosemaling group, small but growing, and we actually have two newer books that are out with patterns, some harder, some easier in there. One was this last one that they put out last year was with Christmas ornaments, so kind of fun. Here we go. Just kind of a neat one to do. There's a few of mine in here, which is nice. I'll put the link on for that. Great organization that's up and moving. Out in Decorah, Iowa, we have the Vesterheim Norwegian American Museum, and it's like going to Mecca if you're into this art. Vesterheim, Vesterheim. Great reference material, great things to go with that. Rosemaling Coast to Coast isn't through Vesterheim. It's a separate group, but they work together. You have to work together. You have to have these groups. In order for art forms to continue, you have to work together, and you have to present the information, because the only way you're going to keep art going is if you share the information you have. So that's kind of what we're doing. All right. So that's kind of the newer stuff. You have other people out there that have patterns and packets, but some of the older books that I love to reference. Okay, Gary Albrecht was a gold medalist. He passed away about 10, 15 years ago. He has wonderful books if you can find those. Just, again, great with patterns, great informational stuff. One of the original gold medalists, Vi Thody, V-I is her first name, Thode, Thode. Vi Thode books. This is her style was American Rogaland, and just amazing, amazing stuff. Again, these books are out of print. They are hard to find. So if you go into a used bookstore, if you go into different things and you find these Rosemaling books, buy them. Because a lot of people don't know what they have. So if you can get them, buy them. Let's see, what else do we have here? Let's go back down. Okay. More Vi Thode, more Vi Thode. Josephine Jensen. Josephine Jensen is a well-known, like uber, mega, well-known decorative artist, Rosemaler, out of Eureka, California. Her wealth of knowledge, her stuff, her books are fantastic. She really is just amazing. And I have a couple of her books. Let me move this over. This book was actually in my grandmother's Rosemaling stuff. Yes, my grandmother Rosemaled. I actually started learning with her in a class when I was 11. Anyway, this was in her stuff, and this book is from 1976. Rosemaling Primer. If you can find them, fantastic. She did a new Rosemaling Primer in 97, and this one's actually signed. And this has been, especially when I was switching from oils to acrylics, this book was just amazing to help me with that. Fantastic stuff. They did a whole, let's see, the National Museum of Decorative Painting did this whole book for her of a life in folk art. I mean, she is a wonderful folk artist. Just fantastic. I'll have to take you, at the end of this video, I'll take you over to another part of my studio that has a wealth of stuff of the magazine that she and her family put out through the 90s. Fantastic magazine if you can find any of these, and really if you're into decorative art, magazine to go to. Old stuff. Claudine Schatz. Fantastic. Her books, wonderful to go with. I mean, this book is from 1980. Okay, so 1980, that's quite a while ago. You know, and I reference these all the time to help me. Pat Virch, who was another original gold medalist. As you can see, I've organized pretty much all my books, and now that I made a mess out of it, I have to reorganize them all again. But it's okay. Pat Virch was another gold medalist. She just passed away this past year, and I mean, this woman was a one-woman train of Rosemaling knowledge and putting stuff out there, and she knew how to market it, she knew how to introduce it, she knew how to teach it. Would you believe that, I mean, she was in her late 90s when she passed away, and she's had an Etsy page or Etsy shop for the last, I don't know, 7-8 years. I mean, who starts an Etsy page when you're 90? She did. Amazing. Okay. Amazing people. So Pat Virch is a wonderful one to go through. More Vi Thode, more Vi Thode, more Vi Thode. Betty Bird, Gail Oram. Gail Oram, who teaches a lot of conventions and stuff. Gail Oram has books out there. O-R-A-M. She's a great reference point. All right, so I also have older books. So you kind of see, again, you see this. Then, just to give you a little, I was very fortunate to have somebody give me, when they passed away, in fact, lovely couple, and they were friends with my grandparents and my father, and when they passed away, this ended up being in their home, and they gave it to my mother-in-law to give to me, and it's all in Norwegian. I can understand a little Norwegian, I can read a little Norwegian, so I can kind of peck and hen my way through this, but just amazing reference. Again, a lot in black and white, because this was done 1986. So, Rosemaling Telemark. Look at that design. I mean, the stuff you can look back and just take in. Amazing. Alright. Another one you can find is The Folk Arts of Norway. This one by Janice Stewart. Oh, what year is this? Oh my goodness. So this was originally done in 53, 72, and then in 99. So another great one to look through if you can find it again. I swear, just look in old bookstores and stuff. In fact, this one, which is a great book from Vesterheim, Norwegian Folk Art, Migration of a Tradition, which was an exhibition that traveled. This was back from 1995. I have seen this one in old bookstores show up, and again, people don't realize what they have. And I mean, just amazing. Speaking of amazing, wait, let me flip back. That's a Joe Sonia Jensen one. Amazing. Let's see. And let's see. There is the first person I took acrylic lessons from is a wonderful Norwegian Rosemaler and Swedish Dalmaler, Karen Jensen. She can do anything, also in her 80s. And look at this amazing bed. Made for her by two lovely gentlemen, twins, and this is where she sleeps. And she wrote to me, I asked her if she slept in it, and she goes, every night. Karen Jensen. It's wonderful, like a womb. Amazing. Okay, another great book, old. These old books are fantastic to look through because even if they're not in color, you can reference them. Okay. Norwegian Rosemaling in America. Again, mid-80s. This kind of gave you a who's who of that time period. And I had always admired, let's see, where is it? There's a trunk in here. I had always admired this trunk. And then back last summer before, with the Rosemaling Coast to Coast Convention, we were in Vesterheim, and this is in their, it's not even out on display, it's in their special warehouse, and we were able to study it. So excited. I am a Rosemaling geek. I can't help it. All right, what else do I have? I mean, I even have Gammal Rosemaling and Rogaland. I mean, these prints are from, oh my gosh, I mean, these prints are old. Look at these prints I have. Other stuff to reference. It was really good for me to pull out my books because sometimes I forget what I have. You get caught in daily life. So I'll be referencing through different stuff. So Gammal is old Rosemaling from Telemark. Gammal Rosemaling in Rogaland. All right. Another great book, out of print, very hard to find. Lars Stana. This is of more current Rosemalers, and I bought this back in the late 90s when I was able to take a Rosemaling Norway tour, visiting family with my mom. Great trip. Wonderful book. Didn't realize how lucky I was to buy it in a bookstore back then. Can't get it anywhere. Another one, Rosemaling fra Hela Norge, another great book. Bjørg Åse Klevi. I can't say it right. I'm trying. She's there in Norway. She's still there, and she does absolutely fantastic work. Great book that she wrote on these wonderful Norwegian Rosemalers. Speaking of Norwegian Rosemalers, let me flip back. Where is he? I just saw him. That's Nils Ellensgaard. Lovely gentleman. I was able to meet him back in the early 2000s. Absolutely wonderful. And let's see. And another thing I was really fortunate to get, this I should probably be wearing gloves. This is a very, very old book from 1913. I keep this in a very safe spot, and I reference this all the time also. I was fortunate to get this when I was a while. I was just fortunate to get it. I can't even. And then I just recently got these new books. Ale as in beer, hens, ale bowls. And these were just, let's see, when were these done? Very recently. I was able to get this through a wonderful Rosemaling artist who ordered them for us, Patty Goke. Very fortunate to use these. All right, so I'm going to take you off from here. Hold on, hopefully I don't turn you off. Okay, whoops, don't mind my hand. Hello, hello. All right, so another fortunate thing I was able to get, by the way. Those are patterns I'm working on. Okay, over here, as I mentioned earlier, Jo Sonja Jensen had a magazine out back in the 90s. All right, when I was able to actually get almost the entire set. I think they ran for about 12 years. Oh, by the way, just so you know, that's one of my first pieces I ever painted when I was 11. Here we go. See where I started? And my mom was good enough to frame that for me. All right, so the magazines, they were called Art Journal. These were absolutely fantastic. Let me pull one out really quickly. This was number 46, and literally just design after design, and not just Rosemaling though, it was decorative arts. So if you come across any of them, buy them. Just buy them. They're a great reference. All right, so that was a quick tour of my books. I know I have more. I hope it helps some. I will try to reference down at the bottom, and it's starting to make me realize I really need to do a primer Rosemaling book. So say some prayers for me and some well wishes, and I'll see what I can do. All right, everybody, thank you again. God bless. I hope you're all well. Have a wonderful day. Take care.